County and Tenino, and we are concerned citizens about the sexually violent predator LRA house going in on 140th Avenue.
Yep, and we have a petition that has over 2,600 signatures. We are asking him to stop Supreme Living and to not allow this to move forward.
Do you think they will reoffend?
They will absolutely reoffend. These are unrehabilitated sexual predators. They've got a cuff on their leg for a reason. They've been on McNeil. They have been cared for on McNeil because they can't get in the water and swim away. You can get away from an unprotected house in a rural neighborhood in Tenino.
Katie Davis Court reporting for Rebel News here at the Washington State Capitol, where residents of Tenino, Washington are going to war against Governor Inslee for releasing the nation's most violent sexual predators from McNeil Island and placing them into private homes in their communities. These sex offenders are the worst of the worst, and the courts say meet the legal definition of a sexually violent predator, meaning they have a mental abnormality or personality disorder that makes them likely to engage in repeat sexual violence, and if they are released, are bound to reoffend, which is why they have been locked up in McNeil Island, otherwise known as Pedophile Island, as more than 60% of them have committed violent sex crimes against children. Now, Governor Inslee in the state of Washington thinks it's a good idea to remove them from the island and disperse them throughout the state in private homes, similar to assisted living facilities with minimal supervision. So why are you guys out here today?
To support the community. This is a community of families, and for them, settling violent sex predators into a home right where they live is an extreme danger, high risk.
Well, we're just here to confront Governor Inslee about his crazy violent sex predator neighborhood release program. So it's just mostly these are people here who live within a short distance away from the proposed house. And although they got delayed, they've been able to delay the opening of the house. But they're concerned that it's temporary. And frankly, Inslee right now is planning to do this in almost every county in Washington state. So this is a big thing, I think, to draw attention to and make sure he's aware that he's not going to sneak this in under the radar like I think he's been trying to do.
I live less than a mile away from the house that they are putting these sex offenders in.
And how do you feel about that?
Very upset. I mean, it's not just for myself, it's everybody, because if once they put this place in, it's going to be in a next community and another community. We have to stop it so that our people, our families, and our children are safe, and people that have experienced being assaulted in their lifetime are, less than a half a mile from this place. So it's upsetting.
Does it scare you?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, I have animals. I walk out in the dark to go feed my animals sometime. Now, can I do that now? Yeah.
I'm out here today because this is egregious. We live a half a mile from the proposed sex predator house. And when I was 12 years old, I was sexually violated. And I lost my high school, I lost my college years, and it was until I got into my 20s and got therapy. It took me years to start the process. The thought that there are men who are unrehabilitated a half a mile from my frickin' doorstep makes my blood curdle. Somebody needs to take responsibility for it, and look at this turnout. Tenino strong. We are a small community, we are a safe community, we are a rural neighborhood. And we are not going to take this. We are going to fight.
We are up here at the Capitol to be heard. We have a sexually violent predator home going in our community, and they are not welcome.
And how does that make you feel?
Extremely uncomfortable. We are not safe. It is a matter of time of when they are going to reoffend.
Trying to help our community, save our families from sex predators.
I live in Olympia, but I believe that if we don't stop this now, once one gets in, it's going to lead to more. And eventually I'd like to move to the South County, so if I can prevent that from being in my neighborhood, absolutely. I'm here to support friends and family, and I honestly don't believe violent sex offenders have any place in society, no matter if they've done their time or not, especially the high risk.
The reason I believe that they want to move these people out of McNeil Island because if you ask me today, where do these people belong? It's McNeil Island. But it's a cost savings for state agencies and state government. And they don't have to have any civil liability anymore if they can contract with an exempt from civil liability private contractor. And you know what? They forgot that the people that they serve are you. But I'm never going to forget that.
And what message do you hope to bring to Governor Inslee?
Pay attention to where you're putting these people and figure out another way, and a way that will not cost the taxpayers humongous amounts of our money.
Do you think that Inslee and his administration is endangering the public?
Well, sure they are. They know they are. I mean, it's not the only thing they're doing that's endangering the public. Yeah. It's just the latest in a whole series of things that they're doing to endanger the public. It's probably the more absurd one because most people recognize that when you take somebody who's got a history of sexually violently attacking, and they're defined as a predator, which is a very specific designation. It's not your run-of-the-mill sex offender. These are very violent and likely to offend predators. So they're releasing them knowing that the likelihood of reoffending is very, very high, and they just don't care. Yeah. And so that lack of concern for the victims and the almost guaranteed victims in the future is something that we have to remember, because as those victims come forward, and there will be some of them, they were warned. Ferguson, Inslee, the legislators that supported this, they were warned about that.
What are you guys going to do to keep fighting back?
Do what we can. This is what we're here for. We have a lot of people, outside the neighborhood that wants to fight this, and we'll do it. We'll continue to do it.
And if Governor Inslee was standing right here, what would you say to him?
I said, relook at what you're doing and please do what you can to change it. I mean, these are, people, you're people that you are supposed to protect.
Why do you think he's doing this?
I have to. This is one subject that I won't bring up because I feel that it's not for the people. He's doing it for other means.
And it makes you angry?
Oh, it does, yes.
Go in there.
So we're here for the what's happening in Tenino, right? Yes. Okay, perfect.
We're here to see the governor. Yeah.
So the governor's in a meeting right now at the moment, but I'd be more than happy to go ahead and take your petition and hear you guys out today. Of course. Unfortunately, in order to speak with the governor, you do have to do a formal web form online on his website, so that in order for that to go through his scheduler, unfortunately. So he won't be able to speak to
here.
You stated he's in a meeting.
Yes, he is in a meeting right now, and then afterwards, he's not able to speak to anyone afterwards.
Okay. All the residents here of Thurston County and Tenino, and we are concerned citizens about the sexually violent predator LRA house going in on 140th Avenue.
Yep. And we have a petition that has over 2,600 signatures. We are asking him to stop Supreme Living and to not allow this to move forward.
He has the authority to do
We'd like him to consider the public safety as the top priority when changing laws or signing off on laws or any initiatives when releasing sexually violent predators into communities like ours.
Would you want to acknowledge that the governor does have the power to stop this, and we have exhausted every avenue to stop this, and we are asking him for his help?
Literally live right next door, and this is my 11-year-old son, and we live out in the country because I want him to be able to play in his tree house. I want him to be able to play in the woods. I want him to feel safe and have sleep outs on his trampoline. And with these people living right next to us, that is going to change our entire lives and his, growing up situation. And none of us should be worried about letting our kids and our grandkids be in our backyard. So please do this. Lucas would like to have this happen.
Once an offender, always an offender.
Absolutely.
And it's not just the children. My mother-in-law is in her late 80s and lives with two other elderly ladies, a mile and a half from this place. I'll be losing sleep. She has no protection there. And this should not be allowed to happen. keep with the original agreement, and that was to keep them on the island until they grew old and passed away. Let's keep that where it was. Unconscionable, you guys. And where is Mr. Inslee? Will he not come out? Is he here today? He's here today. Oh, I understand. Of course.
Can we wait till the meeting's over?
I would like to make a comment. I live at Ground Zero. I step out on my front porch and I can see them, and they are going to be able to see me. They are going to be able to watch me coming and going from home, checking the mail, mowing the yard, everything. I'm worried about coming home from work because I do work nights. I come home during late hours. These people are going to figure out my work schedule. They're going to see headlights pulling in, taillights parking. And I don't feel safe walking from my vehicle to the house. And this needs to be addressed. McNeil Island, the facility where these men have been housed for however many years, is surrounded by rows and rows of razor wire. This property has none of that. And they planned on parking one of these guys in there on February 1st. So there's a severe lack of security on this property. And I can see it from my front porch where I like to drink my coffee in the morning.
They are not welcome. Bottom line, they are not welcome. They're not allowed around playgrounds.
luxury life.
Our entire woods are
And
playgrounds.
home. Yes.
I also wanted to mention that we had to get a permit to come here today. This home didn't even have to have a permit initially to try to bring 5 sexually violent predators that were the worst of the worst as rated by DOC. We had to get a permit just to bring these papers to you today. What sense does that make?
I agree.
And it's just the beginning. That's what's so horrifying. It's just the beginning.
Where's the governor? He needs to come out here. Are we not important to him? Can we
Let's
want
go.
Jay?
We want Jay.
We want Jay. We want Jay. We want Jay.
I would appreciate it. You're more than happy to speak with us. We want Jay. I would ask Jay.
We want Jay.
Volume down.
We want Jay.
Ladies, it might be really good to get a group photo. Get these people out there and get a group photo.
And if Governor Inslee was standing right here, what would you say to him?
I would say to him, you know what I want you to do? I want you to move into our neighborhood. This would not happen on Bainbridge Island, where the governor lives. So if you want to put a sex house on Bainbridge Island, we'll take a sex house in Tenino. I dare you to do that. I know you wouldn't do that. You would never put a predator house into Bainbridge Island. Why the hell would you put one in Tenino or in any neighborhood with children and women and men who could be violated by these men who can open the door and walk out?
Each other's backs, because that is exactly what community is, and we keep each other safe, and they are not welcome in our community, and they are not welcome in Washington State. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Do you think they will reoffend?
They will absolutely reoffend. These are unrehabilitated sexual predators. They've got a cuff on their leg for a reason. They've been on McNeil. They have been cared for on McNeil because they can't get in the water and swim away. You can get away from an unprotected house in a rural neighborhood in Tenino.
And what do you hope to see happen?
We are going to shut this down. The people are going to speak. We are showing up, and half of the battle is showing up and doing the work, and that's what we're doing.
If you enjoyed our coverage and would like to support independent journalism, please go to rebelnewsusa.com and consider making a donation. We are 100% viewer funded, and that way we stay uncorrupted, as we do not take a dime from the government. Again, that is rebelnewsusa.com. I'm Katie Davis Court for Rebel News.